Hello dear students, welcome to second part of this video, that is new economic policy. We are going to discuss here the three parameters of new economic policy in detail. As we have these three components, and these three are the processes, as it is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Let me discuss these three parameters in detail with their meaning and the various changes took under place with their planning. So the very first is liberalization. It means liberty, that means freedom of producing centers from the government control. As we know that private sector was under the control of government sector after the independence of India, because Indian reformers don't want to be slave again Indian economy under the private individuals. So in the new planning strategy, Indian reformers gave prior importance to government sector rather than private sector. So private sector was took under control of government sector. So this limitize the decision making power and production capacity of the private sector, which was ultimately removed by this policy. So here freedom of producing center means freedom of private sectors from the government control. This particular sector reform we consider various reforms under it. The very first is industrial reform. Under these industrial changes, here reforms means the positive changes, the reconstruction of the policy. So here industrial reform means earlier those sectors which were reserved for public sector only, where private sector was not allowed to participate, those areas were unrestricted. Means those sectors which were earlier given to public sector were now given to the private sector to participate. Only 5 industries were there who were given licensing authority. Other industries were given to the private sector for their participation and produce as more as they can. And the areas which were earlier reserved for the private sector, which were earlier reserved for small scale industries, competition was abolished, all those were removed. Under fiscal reforms, under these reforms, the producing areas were unreserved for the small sector industries, and they all were allowed to participate and compete with other sectors of the economy. Even production capacity of all the industries were expanded, whether these are small, large, or medium scale industries. Even the freedom was given to import capital goods, as earlier imports were substituted by Indian planning policy, and now these sectors were given freedom so that capital goods may be imported from the different nations of the world, and the economic conditions of the Indian economy may be improved. Second is financial sector reforms. Under it, we consider banking, non-banking institutions, even foreign exchange market and money market within India. This particular sector considered RBI as a regulator earlier, but now it was given a status of facilitator. RBI was given a status of facilitator or a helper, which may provide their help to continue the various economic activities to run smoothly in the economy. Now, earlier, what was the case that RBI was fixing the limits of interest rate in different time conditions, but now under this policy, commercial banks were given the power to determine their interest rate by their own according to the conditions of the market. So this helped the financial sector to expand more their limits in different areas and provide the uh, financial assistance to various producing centers. Next one is fiscal reforms. Fiscal term is concerned with the income and expenditure of the government. So in this particular reform, all those various measurements were taken by which government can increase its income and may control its expenditures. So under this, maximum areas were considered for concessions, and subsidies were given to both producer as well as consumers. And to increase the income of the government, various taxes were introduced in economy so that the earning capacity of Indian economy may be increased. Under it, goods and services tax that we have recently introduced and accepted in our economy is one of the source of increasing the earning of the Indian government. The next one is external sector reform. In this, we consider again two sub parameters. The very first is foreign exchange reform. Under it, the foreign exchange was introduced so that it can be earned easily from international money market. Under this policy, the Indian government first time accepted the devaluation of the Indian currency so that exports may be increased from India to increase foreign exchange reserves amount. Next one is foreign trade policy. Under it, the foreign trade policy was considered to be the long-term policy of the government, and all those quota and tariff restrictions were removed from the trading partners and trading countries. All these were the parameters under liberalization who helped the Indian economy to regenerate its capacity of earning income and expand its area in different fields of economy. The next process is privatization. Under it, private sector was given the role to participate in different production activities, and this was done by participating more of private sector in all those areas where earlier public sector was performing its activities, and private sector was given the responsibility partial or whole in different areas. With the adoption of privatization, the self-interest was tried to be achieved, that is profit motive of the private producers. The efficiency of the producing center was increased by use of capital intensive technology. MNC's role was promoted so that all the producing agencies may participate freely in this process, and consumers were given a freedom to purchase and spend his money according to his choice, not by any force. And even competitive environment was created so that the different producing centers may participate in production process and even may compete to improve their efficiency and to achieve diversification. The third parameter of the policy is globalization. That means to attach the Indian economic market with the world market so that trade may be done through all over the world. How this benefited the Indian economy? With the adoption of globalization, foreign investment increased, and FDI, FII also increased. With the terms and conditions of Indian economy, partial convertibility was allowed, that if Indians want to convert their foreign currency to purchase or pay foreign goods and services, they can do that without any legal formality. Next one is long-term trade policy was formulated so that the trading partners may have a faith among themselves while performing the trade activities. Tariff reduction was done, which was earlier was an parameter of strategy adopted by the Indian government to reduce the quantity of import. So this was even also reduced. Next is quantitative restrictions were removed from the trading companies, and even they may freely turn on their economic activities regarding exchange, distribution and earning foreign exchange. Despite this vast variety of LPG policy, we receive maximum positive advantages from this policy, as we have discussed that in the part A video. Let me discuss the demerits of this policy. Further, this acceptance of policy provided demerits to the Indian economy. The very first is agriculture sector was neglected, and in place of this, secondary and tertiary sector was given prior importance, and that sector developed a lot due to this LPG policy. The growth process and the application of these parameters were concentrated only in urban areas. Rural area became still passive in this policy parameter. Again, colonialism was entered in Indian market, as earlier India was under the control of Britishers. Now Indian were seemed to be under the control of MNCs while their trading activities. Consumerism was spreaded, as consumer was given more priority as compared to the producer. So consumer centered decisions were taken in the economy due to LPG. So consumer get more power in the economy for their production decisions, their choice, their income level, their satisfaction level, all these were given prior importance. It was a loop-sided growth process in which IT industry was basically developed, and the industrial sector completely was one of the sector that was developed. But further, this overall balanced growth was not attained. Even one sector that we neglect under this planning was agriculture, and this became a loop-sided growth process of Indian economy. The last is cultural erosion. With the adoption of this policy, the culture of Indian tradition was destroyed, and people forget their social and family responsibility, and further focused more on their self-interest fulfillment. Thank you.